Welcome back to the Victoris Rival Series semi-final between Phantom Thieves and PGR. An expert showing on Breeze has put Phantom Thieves ahead 2-1 in this best of five series, meaning they are now on match point as we go into Icebox. And 1B, we've seen PGR on Icebox before. As a map for them to make a comeback, looks a bit dicey.
I don't know if you can see my face up on the cameras, but I'm making a really big I don't know face because I don't really know what type of PGR we're gonna see on Icebox. We saw how good they were in the set after losing the very close map, which was Haven. Then we have a close map on Breeze, and we might see them dominate on Icebox. But the last time we saw them was against At Gaming. To be honest, Temporal, we talked about this like outside of the MLS desk too. We weren't really too impressed by how they played, especially a lot of the times where they were losing a lot of easy. We as casters, it was me and Moose, but me and Moose thought they should have won. They had a lot of expensive, they overbought, they overdid, and they just didn't get anything out of them. And it happened on Breeze, but it also Haven. There weren't really a lot of rounds where I could judge it on to say the same thing about their economy. But if that trend keeps continuing with their economy, just and they're not trying to change anything, they're not trying to better themselves on their spending, then we could see them easily lose sight of Icebox.
That we can. And Loki, looking at particularly Phantom Thief's performance in the last map, Ayuki has been absolutely stellar on the jet the whole way through, in particular on Breeze. 8 first bloods out of 19 rounds, almost 50% first blood percentage. Cracking play from the jet. And once again, Icebox is a map you can see jets pop off where required.
Yeah, I'm enjoying watching Ayuki on this comfort pick. They've had some very aggressive shoves, as we see from 8 first bloods. That's a lot. That's a fairly large number, regardless of what game you're playing, to be able to rack up on these rounds. But I'm a little bit worried about Phantom Thieves overall. We saw that Ascent match when it was down to those close and really down and dirty gunfights. It seemed like they weren't all there. So this map, I feel, can still go either way because we've seen PGR have issues with some of their team play, but their individual fragging on Ascent was something they were able to piggyback off of, as well as Icebox is another one of those with a lot of sneaky angles that we could see Zi-Fi. Once again, I'm going to be highlighting this power couple because I enjoy watching them run around. But Zi-Fi alongside Lafia has been really interesting to watch, especially when we're able to see that KO Omen running together. But on Icebox, I think we're going to be able to see a lot of Viper setups, and whoever's on that controller might be just being left to play a lot more for themselves on the defense.
Yeah, so we're just working out a little bit of admin stuff on the side. So we're going to keep talking about Icebox here. Um, I know we private prior to Breeze, we were seeing a lot of the Omen play, a little bit of the Brimstone coming in at PGR, but then the Viper, of course, comes in for Breeze, so the big wide open spaces. Also a common pick here on on Icebox. We have seen Lafia play it quite well. So in the context of the controller specifically, but the other agents, we can see a bit of Sage sometimes swapping in for Initiator. What do you expect to be seeing here? Maybe we might see Entranced Sky picking out another Sentinel, and a Killjoy could also be a pick here. You may not see the Cypher so much, but definitely a few options open, and Phantom Thieves seem to be the ones that are willing to experiment a little bit more with the slightly atypical picks.
Yeah, I mean, I've also seen some compositions where we don't see any duelists, and instead we see like two initiators, two controllers, then the sage, and then maybe of chambers. That's actually too much agents. I didn't do my maths properly. But regardless, you do see a chambers being picked in sacrifice of the jet, just for the mere fact that Chambers is powerful. Instead of thinking about how good Jet is at making space, and then a lot of the times when these teams do not bring a duelist, they struggle in guess what? The space making department, especially on their attacks and their slowly. So hopefully we will see some change ups in terms of the lineups. I'm betting on maybe seeing a Reina. I'm more specifically seeing the Jet just because both of these teams have random on both the Breeze, on actually all of the maps. Breeze, Ascent, and Haven, apart from Cheese Witch on Haven using the Neon. I don't think she'll make an appearance on Icebox just because of how the map is built and it just doesn't favor the way that she plays. Um but Maybe we'll see the Killjoy in place of the Chambers. I'm doubting it, especially from Obama because Obama really loves the Chambers. And Chambers is really good on this map just because of the long range angles that you can get on there.
Yeah, any place Jet is historically been good at, like Icebox, Chamber is also going to be great at. So it's a very handy spell as well. When you've got the two players, like you've got the Cheese Wedge and your Bumper Fortnights, you've got the Oyuki, you've got the Cinders who can both play that agent. Sorry, it's not Cinder. Cinder's playing the thing. I think it's sorry, what's Cinder? Cinder and Conker, very similar names. Yes, it's handy that you can have both of those fragging agents. We're going to have one play restarting, so we're going to take a little bit longer. Also, you mentioned Cheese Wedge. I noticed. I think we've seen Cheese Wedge on broadcast 3 times now. I finally realized they've got a little Cheese Wedge gun buddy. So I don't know. I don't know if they named themselves after the gun buddy. I thought, that's my motive for. Perhaps Riot is just kind of seeing this player like Cheese Wedge creates a Riot account and goes, you know what? We can cater that. We don't know what a Wi-Fi is. We can't create a gun buddy in that theme, but the Cheese Wedge is there.
Hmm.
Yeah, Sci-Fi deserves a KO charm. He's really good at it. Or well, he just loves picking it overall, but I don't know. You know what? I want to see a Phoenix gun buddy. I think he already has his own. And I really, you know what? I just love Phoenix. I love his whole style of the way that he is. I like him more than Chambers. I know everybody talks about Chambers being the most swag agent in the game. Nah, it's Phoenix. Get it up here. It's
It's
Phoenix.
I
it's
see.
just
So you like
aimed
to
at
hear skrrr?
Yes.
It's just a
Oh.
shame that he's never really found a place in the meta. You did see him a
Mhm,
little bit on Haven. I know when Sentinels in their prime, I believe it was Sick running the agent,
mhm,
and they were just playing it like no one else could and making it work. But really, aside from that, just every other duelist has a place and can seem to outdo Phoenix in everything Phoenix does, which is really unfortunate.
mhm.
Hopefully, so maybe they'll get the Euro treatment. Maybe Phoenix will get the Euro treatment one day and get a bit of a rework. Although not that it's really done wonders for you. Oh, I take that back. Actually, we have seen some Euro, particularly in EMEA,
Mhm.
in their current challenges matching. So maybe a rework is on the cards for a little fiery agent. Who knows? Just getting a confirmation. Yes, a player is restarting. So we're still going to talk a little bit more about Phoenix. I guess yeah. Do you play much
No,
Phoenix in ranked, or do you just do you enjoy playing properly and not throwing?
I when you say it like that, I enjoy playing properly and not throwing. I as much as I love Phoenix and the way that he's just like so swag and whatnot, I do enjoy to play. And it's mainly just because he's just not really viable. His
Cool.
splashes can be kind of wonky. The lineups are kind of weird. Also, the
All right,
lineups with his walls can be kind of as well.
appreciate it. Love the attention to detail on Phoenix. We are ready to go. Agents Lake for potentially the final map of the series coming in. Remember in chat, as soon as the map ends, if this is the final map of the series, MVP poll in the chat. But yeah, take it away. Icebox is a go.
Yeah, I'm gonna gaze into my crystal ball for a second. I think I can guess the comp that's gonna be for Phantom Thieves here. I'm gonna be expecting a Chamber, a KJ, and probably an Omen somewhere around there. Since, as we said, they're more likely to experiment, but we've been surprised more than a couple times here. Any agents you'd like to see pop out? Actually, Zi-Fi is out for your heart too.
No, please don't, sci-fi. You're gonna lose. Switch, switch to something else. please, please. Okay, he
No
switches.
confidence in the run it back?
Nope, nope, not at all. Not at all. Not in comp. Not in the semifinals. Not for PGR. It
I
looks like he
see.
is gonna settle though for the Sova. Wouldn't be too miss for him to not play K on this map. KO's like viable on this map. He's really good on this map, especially with the way that flashes work and how you need to clear a lot of the vision that exists on both the B and the A side, especially on those higher up angles, like Heaven and A or Snowman and B, or even the middle crates inside of the B sites as well. But the only change up that I see between both of these teams, because it's exactly a mirror lineup, apart from the controller picks and Nismo going for it was two controller picks actually from PGR, one controller pick from the side of Phantom Thieves, and We see Viper being picked by herself. No other in two Sentinel picks as well, and we see a controller pick, and that's about it for Chambers on the Sentinels. He's by himself on PGR, all by himself.
Yeah, it looks like a much more conservative team, though, coming from the side of PGR. I am very curious to see the lack of flashes, actually. Opting for that Sova instead of a KO. You have the Omen Paranoia, but you also don't have even a Sky to be able to have the healing, since we have Entrance Sky on the Sage, going to be able to top everyone off, keep that res economy going. But you've been begging for Arena all night, and it's Cinder's here to deliver, leaving a Yuki on Chamber instead of Jet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an interesting pick, Reina, especially just because of the way that her Leers work on this map. It will help in clearing space, and I feel like the attacking lineup from Phantom Thieves will be a little aggressive on their takes, and it's going to be supported by the Reina, and then she also has two really good wallers in the Sage.
And we see first contact actually winds up being Cheese Wedge pushing through mid, but Paranoia is out. All the smokes are here. The recon bolt going to spot one body, but the only one hitting the floor is going to be Cinder. As this attack continues to be very aggressive through the wall with the classic.
One enemy
And
remaining.
No Monkey's able to grab 3 of their own. Going into the end stage of this round, Conquer's able to grab 2. In a 1v3, bring it to a 1v2. There's a chance. The shot's going back and forth as we're going to be seeing them do the tango around this middle. It's 4 bodies hit the floor. Conquer looking very strong right now as Recon Bolt is going to be tapped over the screen. Gonna spot nothing out. Shock bolts to try to get that last health dinked right off of him. And the shoulder peek, you were spotted, my friend. 30 seconds and counting going to be trickling down on this clock. But that's a full health Sova versus almost a no health Sova. This could be a little bit scary. They're making their way up mid with a little bit of shaky confidence, having already gotten 4 off the board. What's one more? As he's going to be just tiptoeing back and forth, not wanting to give any information, coming to a head potentially right on this back porch. And there we go. Conquer going to fall not before dinking. Sci-Fi, though.
Conquer. I mean, 1v4 got 3 picks on the board too. Maybe in that 1v1 situation, he overthought it and just decided to pick up the spike, turn tail, maybe go over to the B site. He was initially going to go just straight through from mid into B, but decided to go up through twos and into kitchen. And it just didn't really work. I imagine that maybe fight against Sci-Fi, because it looked like Sci-Fi was just as scared of him as he was of Sci-Fi. And maybe if he just took up the heads-up gunfight, he would have had a better chance of winning it.
Yeah, and speaking of heads-up gunfights, we're going to be seeing Lethea on a nice angle, hiding, just waiting for everyone to push up as Ayuki's able to grab Cheese Wedge, but there's Cinder going to fall very early into the round. Once again, his A-holds have been so good so far coming out from PGR, but here's once again a rotate. Conquer has a bit more health to work with this time, as they're going to be seeing Sci-Fi in just a moment, caught with the Tomahawk out. The spray's not quite there. Nismo's going to be falling next, followed by Sci-Fi with the headhunter to the dome. No Monkey looking to drop a snake bite, but it's too little too late. Not quite there, my friend, as the bomb is going to go down. We start this tick, and Ayuki has the Spectre in hand, ready with the rendezvous around yellow. Just going to tag back and forth and be a little bit of a devil's advocate for this one. So Obama Fortnite is making their way over with No Monkey, and Ayuki couldn't snap the fingers in time. Defuse is starting to happen, but the shock bolt not quite landing. They have it half already. Conquer is going in an aggressive position, but is going to get called right as the bomb is diffused.
Conquer couldn't really do anything from his position either. He sent out he was a 1v3. He sent out 2 shock darts in order to push No Monkey off of the diffuser, but unfortunately by that time, the Viper had already gotten it down to half, and just couldn't really stop the diffuse from there. It was a nice plant. I mean, they do net them in PGR. Phantom Thieves. They do net themselves some extra credits on the board, you know, with that plant. And you know, it is a full buy from them this round. No, not no monkey, but PGR not being able to full buy as they are in a half, and so maybe this will be the round that we see Phantom Thieves be able to win. But we've seen this trend before, where like the other team on the anti-bonus is able to win it instead.
Yeah, it looks like Cinder is going to be able to stay alive for part of this round right now. Able to get the first pick, finally. They're starting to get it online as Trans Sky is able to take out Obama Fortnite, followed by Lafia, going to be falling to Conquer. This is a much better round for them. Might be a perfect, as Cheese Wedge is going to be the next one out. All down to Sci-Fi having that frenzy in hand to be able to play this bonus. I can't see a world where they win this.
No, I don't either. He has that frenzy in hand. Gonna send out a little recon dart. Maybe get a few extra creds to net his team a couple of extra kills in order to do some damage onto this economy. But it is gonna be a flawless from Phantom Thieves, and that's what they want on the anti. They don't want anybody going easily. And they get to save all of their guns, plus the operator in the hands by Yuki. Been so good with it, and we've seen Ayuki on the jet. We've seen him on the jet a number of times throughout this whole matchup with the operator, and we know how deadly the shots can be. So this might spell trouble for PGR. Now knowing that Ayuki does have that operator in hand, hopefully they don't overpeak though, because that's when this operator becomes useful or great.
Here's that Viper's Pit coming out though. Just gonna lock out A little bit. No monkey, ready for someone to try to walk into the smog cloud. And it looks like Cinder might be the first one to take the bite. Wait for a second. We have that owl drone coming through, trying to clear things, but doesn't spot no monkey. He's just dancing around it. There's the leer to be able to try to obscure things a little bit, and it works for a moment. Trans Sky's gonna fall, but so will no monkey. Viper's Pit is now down. Cinder is looking very confident as Obama Fortnite is able to grab Conquer, but will fall to Nismo almost immediately after. It's a 3v2. Still very winnable as the recon bolt comes out from Sci-Fi, not spotting anyone. And you have Lafia, who has been very good at having some chaotic angles this entire time. Be playing from spawn. There's the Paranoia coming out to be able to hit two members of Phantom Thieves, but that's the op in hands of Ayuki. 3 seconds on the dark cover to be able to nullify that, but here we have Sci-Fi taking the first pick on Anismo and going to be falling for it, all down to Lafia, who's going to get sprayed out by Cinder. 2-2 now.
2. I mean, the economy is looking a bit rough as well for PGRs. They're going to be on a bit of a force as well, or not force, but an eco. And you do have some shorties coming out, and maybe what obviously what you really can do in those is just play aggressively, try and go for easy picks and do some Phantom Thieves economy, because at the moment they're looking rich. They're looking pretty comfortable in their seats. How much money they do have. This operator still sitting pretty in the hands of Ayuki, and it's been sitting pretty for a majority of this matchup. Only 2 away from his tour de force as well, which can be pretty useful. Obviously, the Hunter's Fury being ready for Conquer, and with how small these sites are, especially the A site, the Hunter's Fury could be useful in zoning out this defense.
And it looks like Cinder was able to find the first pick on Lafia, but Shorty in hand right along this toxic screen. Nice and calm, takes out the bomb courier, but not able to snap the fingers in time as they're going to be leaving this all back down to Sci-Fi. And that's still a good pick to get, making it so Trans Sky does not have res off of this round since no plant, and you killed them before it.
Yep. Won't even get enough to get into the res neither. Hunter's Fury didn't even need to be used that round. It wasn't a round where they just thought they needed to. Usually Hunter's Fury is popped when the other team is at an equal level as you, and it's possible for them to properly do a retake, but in that situation it wasn't. PGR just didn't have the numbers advantage or any type of numbers or even the guns to be able to properly retake. They did take one body down, denying that the resurrection from entrance, but that was really all they had in that round.
Yeah, and we see Ayuki in a very aggressive position with the rendezvous. Might not get spotted. Cheese Wedge had an inkling someone might be around that corner and is able to drop the up. Sci-Fi getting a spot through a leer on the owl drone, but things are staying nice and slow as they're going to play back a yellow, try to get some more picks. The rest of PGR could just look to clamp off Phantom Thieves' escape path, as Cheese Wedge is going to be continuing to position around mid, playing with no monkey, not allowing anyone to run out too far. Toxic Screen is going to be emitting in a second as Recon Bolt does spot one out, and we're going to be seeing it come to a head. Sci-Fi on the back line is able to grab Conquer, is able to almost get one more, but the shots went wide, and Cinder, the Empress, has come out. Going to be able to get one, able to try to find more time as the res is here. Obama Fortnite gonna be bringing Conquer right back down. A little bit of bullying in this game. A duck hunt with Cinder, able to spray down no monkey, bringing this all the way back down to just Obama Fortnite, trying to be able to get what they can with that tour de force in hand. But Cinder kind of feeling themselves right now.
Yep. Obama Fortnite's just gonna be hanging back in Snowman again, but he easily dispatched by Cinder with the 3K inside of this round. How good were the Reyna plays? Able to get the first kill, this missing the site, able to get some more important kills, denying the retake from PGR, denying that re-entrance from mid back into B, and it's just PGR so far have been struggling on these retakes, even on rounds where they are full buying.
Yeah, I mean, Cinder grabbing those first frags, just a good thing to see on a player like this. You give them an inch, they took an entire kingdom after all, as we're going to be getting into this round. Bladestorm is out from Cheese Wedge, who's going to be just running their way up mid, not getting punished for it, but Obama Fortnite Headhunter in hand. Here's the Owl Drone, is going to be trying to grab. There's Cinder dying just before they can get much, but he was a little too far from the rendezvous. No monkey playing with the Bucky, because life is a little bit mucky right now, but not quite able to get the one tap onto Conquer. The Hunter's Fury coming out, denying a plant, but not quite able to get a kill, as we're going to be seeing the Viper's Pit come down soon after. We'll be able to try to secure this bomb site for another round in the hands of Phantom Thieves. And Lafia gonna just avoid Ayuki's sightline for a moment with the Shadow Step. Recon Bolt out from Zi-Fi, the brick in hand to be able to try to run this, but that's a lot of smoke to cover. Now they have the Bucky to be able to try to take some very close angles in a second here, but Ayuki might just spot them before they can dip in, and gets leg. Shots wide, there goes the Trans Sky. Drops the Bucky at the wrong time and gets caught by Nismo.
Yep. Viper's Pit wasn't really the end-all be-all there for Phantom Thieves, though again, we see a round as an eco this time, and a timeout as well for PGR, good timing on that. Where Zi-Fi, it's a round where we see PGR, and they use the Hunter's Fury when they're already on site. You're not really doing there. It's not really doing much damage. It's not denying anything. It's not helping them in the grand scheme of things. And it brings me back to that other round where they use the Viper's Pit, but that wasn't even enough to stop Phantom Thieves and entering inside of the site, taking Viper, downing the Viper's Pit, and being able to get an easy plant down. And these are the type of rounds where we've kind of criticized PGR's economy just a little bit, in rounds where we've seen them use ultimates, or even bringing them up at times where it's not really so useful. And again, it's in the face of that Hunter's Fury last round, which didn't really net them anything. Didn't do any zoning, didn't stop any plant, didn't net any kills. Did a little bit of damage, but that was about it. They didn't find any use of it.
Yeah, always a pain when some of those ultimates come up short, but if we're going to talk about Viper's Pit, I want to talk about No Monkeys earlier. It was honestly well placed. Just a little bit of panic is all it takes to be able to throw some of these away in this structured play. We have two fantastic teams running it up, as it looks like Phantom Thieves wants to do another A-take. Lafia all the way into Nest. I don't think they were quite spotted, but Cinder's going to be the first one to fall, and we're going to see the Shadow Step to get them on out of there. So Yuki was able to grab it, Zi-Fi with the op, but here comes a Recon Bolt to be able to try to spot out more of this site, not pinging anyone, but either way, they're going to be cutting their noise and trying to regroup behind a Yuki, who's holding down B with what they have. And there's the op. Obama Fortnite coming out on top this time. No more wiggling of those little itty bitty pinky toes. The barrier orb going to guarantee the plant for a moment, but Cheese Wedge is right there to stop it anyway. As the Toxic Screen is starting to dwindle down. There we go. The smoke has settled. Conquer in a good spot to be able to take out Cheese Wedge. The spray is a little bit wide, but they're able to get there in the end. Obama Fortnite continuing to watch this angle with the op and creeping with the Headhunter to be able to see what they can make happen. That snake bite not quite enough to deny anything. And Conquer from the side again. Shots going a little bit wide. Punished for it this time. Lafia is coming out through mid. We heard that little bit of a jump. Nismo knows what angle they have to take first. Isolates the gunfight. There goes Lafia. Now down to this 1v1. Both of them are one shot, and neither wants to be sent home packing as we play ring around the rosy. And right now it looks like Nismo's going to get caught with a pocket full of posies as we get this a 3-5 going into the next round.
Very close so far from both of these teams, despite Phantom Thieves being, you know, in a decent lead. That was a 5-2, now a 5-3, and PGR. I mean, that round was, you know, that was an Obama Fortnite round. Let's get it straight. You know, the first kill happened on the A site. That wasn't Obama's kill, but then you saw him just completely deny so much from Phantom Thieves on the B side. Starting with the kill from Snowman, and then he got another from Snowman, and this time it was an upfront kill with the Headhunter. You saw Cheese Wedge deny the initial plant. It was so much denial in the form of guns, not really utility for that stopped Phantom Thieves in their tracks.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing Lafia with this paranoia try to come online, but is caught out by Cinder just as they started spraying. It's a wrong place to be, as No Monkey's going to be playing around this poison orb, avoiding the leer and playing up close and personal. These sprays going back and forth, not quite landing as they just barely come out of it in time. Almost able to get a double spray down, but Cinder going to be dismissing their way through. Obama Fortnite once again wiggling those pinky toes. You got to settle down for just a moment longer. Cheese Wedge not quite able to get to the shots themselves onto Cinder, who's got a chin of steel at this point, the way they've been taking shots and just moving on. But the spike is not quite committed yet. Zi-Fi on the flank, though, going to try to keep this pinch and slowly twist a vice grip around Phantom Thieves' neck, as they don't have much more room to work with in the later stage of this round. And Trans Sky going to be seeing what they can do, but that's the blue line of death as they walk straight into Zi-Fi. And that's the spike coming down. Recon Bolt, just keep us spotted out. I don't have to commit on that angle. Bring the rest of the troops, as that's exactly what we're doing. Cinder's going to get caught dropping. And it's all back down to Nismo, who's been a good lurker, but this is going to be a hard one to clutch. No toxic screen, no poison orb. It's already there. They can emit it in a second, but it's not much else they can do. With 10 seconds left on the clock, they might just have to commit to get to this site. It's going to be a little bit close as the timer's running down, and that's right at 4.5. We're going to be seeing that plant go down. As we're going to the late stage of this round, they're going to be looking to clutch it. Didn't grab their poison orb back, so they have no smokes to work with. They can't really snake around much other than just dry peaks on repeat, which is going to be very scary for them, as some confident fraggers are still left up. Obama Fortnite with that op, with those Headhunter shots. Zi-Fi with just any rifle in their hand, and Cheese Wedge is itching to get online, as we're going to be catching Obama Fortnite on bridge, and the snakebite going to continue to drop down and try to isolate some more space, but Zi-Fi with that Vandal is going to have blood make the grass grow.
Fourth round for PGR, and that Molly just not really hitting where he thought it would hit. The Molly was thrown in the wrong spot too, because both Cheese Wedge and I believe were going on the other side of the middle crate. They weren't on the right side, they were going on the left, and the Molly was thrown on the right, and it was thrown up in the more upright vertical position on that little platform, and it just wasn't there to do any amount of zoning. Also a little bit late to react onto Zi-Fi, but keep in mind he wasn't. So in that type of situation, you are going to be panicking a little bit, and he probably was, because everybody gets nervous in those type of situations. So
yeah, and once again, we see No Monkey playing very aggressively around the poison orb, but this time they have a judge to do it. might just see them sawzawing all of Phantom Thieves in their tracks, and the spray from Entranced Sky, just inhuman reactions on it. No Monkey. There's Obama Fortnite with the op to be able to try to secure just a little bit more space. Cheese Wedge, the tailwind is ticking. We hear the Leer, we see the barrier orb, be shooting that out. Here's the Viper's pit by Yuki. Gonna be grabbing Obama Fortnite before anything can happen. Cinder through the smoke, gonna be just tagging away as Conqueror's re-res, but the flick from Cheese Wedge is right on point in the Viper's pit, and the purple Nurple comes out for a 3K on Cinder.
You say purple? You say purple Nurple? I haven't heard of a purple Nurple in like so long. That's oh my god, that's so weird.
Reina and Empress. Reina and Empress.
No, I know she's purple. I've never heard of a purple Nurple. But I mean, look, Phantom Thieves 6-4, 2-1 in a whole series, and I mean, attacks on Icebox, especially with this composition, maybe a little bit clean. Maybe it is looking a bit cleaner for them. The Reina is doing a lot of work, especially with Sindar going 15 and 5. That most definitely helps in using your abilities. Okay, he's the first one. Sorry.
Yeah, followed immediately by Entranced Sky with a stinger from Cheese Wedge. But 5 HP left on them. They're going to get caught before the Tailwind really gets a chance to take form. Zi-Fi has the brick in hand, going to be able to see what they can do with it, as the rest of Phantom Thieves are going to be storming the castle. No Monkey getting ready for this flank, as the From the Shadows is going to be getting a Lucia on this site, playing it together with their teammate, as Nismo is going to be making Zi-Fi fall before they can even get a shot off. Again, there goes the Fia. Just as this bomb's getting down, Nismo just wants to be able to plant in peace. It's all down to Obama Fortnite with the reaction time of a Mad Lad taking out Conquer. 3 shots left in a tour de force, but 2 bodies to grab. It's a lot of room to work with, as they're going to be seeing a Yuki playing yellow with an op of their own, but same position as before. Nismo just caught right off to the side by Obama in a second here, and that's one more head for the chopping block, as the shot goes a little bit wide. The clutch is denied by a Yuki. 4-7.
Oh my god, he was so close with the tour de force, and he just couldn't hit it. He was like a centimeter off of that shot. I wonder if we do have a replay up, if we can just look at that. Yes, we do. The first person he comes into contact with is Nismo. Nismo very low HP, that gun sticking out, as you'll see it on this swing. And he is able to get that nice little headshot. It wasn't a body shot, but it was a headshot. He's just like a centimeter off from clutching that. And it's a bit unfortunate, because that was an eco round too, and that could have been a thrifty as well for PGR.
Yeah, getting a thrifty there, getting the extra round to be able to work with going into the last of half would have been a huge confidence boost, as we're playing around this Viper's pit once again. Transky getting Obama Fortnite. The moment the recon bolt pings, we see Conquer's head, but no Monkey is not able to get the shots in time. Lafia is going to try to hold this site for dear life, but Cinder is good for 1. Here comes another Huntress Fury. 2 out, no tags. 3 out, none. And the Huntress Fury was also traded for Conquers, but back and forth, nothing is coming out of it. As Cheese Wedge and Zi-Fi, we're just going to stick to rifling. Blade Storm is out, going to get caught by a Yuki the moment they tried to get a little bit cocky. And now it's all down to Zi-Fi with 11 health to work with, caught by Nismo from Maze.
Teammates as well. How about that for some teamwork from Phantom Thieves, showing the amount of teamwork that they had on Breeze, holding crosses for each port when one another needed. In that round, they just all got a kill. You know, it's the Oprah Winfrey show, but on Valorant. You get a kill, you get a kill, you get a kill. Now we're on round 13. This is, you know, I mean, PGR, they wouldn't fight this. It is them at a deficit, 8-4, but they're not too far off, especially if they're able to keep on winning these pistol rounds, then grab the follow-up, then maybe even grab this round after that. It could help them get this Icebox map, but you know, keep in mind that they are still losing in this whole entire 2-1 with Phantom Thieves on serious points, and so that's going to be lingering in the back, especially as I keeps going.
Yeah, it's a very anxious spot to be in, as the Recon Bolt does spot out multiple members of PGR on their way, and Transky able to grab Obama Fortnite early into the round too, having a healing orb to be able to pad up for it, but Cheese Wedge able to grab Cinder before they can start popping off. Ion Sheriff on the ground. Honestly, the superior paperweight as these shots go back and forth. Zi-Fi coming up on top, but 3 versus 3. This is still losable as Lafia good for one more. The shot's not quite there to be able to take out Nismo while they're there. Multiple players just on such low HP. Nismo in a bad spot to get peeking as the headhunter shots go a little bit wide from a Yuki. Zi-Fi on top of that one. Nismo with 40 health. They can just get stung by a bee at this point. I think it would be over for them as the dark cover going to be making this push so much more awkward. The shots on to Lafia is good, but Cheese Wedge with the ghost is going to turn them into a phantom.
You know, getting that, okay, as per the tradition, PGR getting the first pistol round on the half and able to half buy up inside of this round. And the thing that I really like from that is not really the right, but we saw Lafaya using his From the Shadows, teleporting up onto heaven, and you know, Conquer not seeing him whatsoever. And those are the controller he's been on Omen, but he's also been making good usage of his abilities on agents like Viper and all of that stuff, and it's really nice to see that continue on.
Yeah, Obama Fortnite gonna be getting a different start of the round than last time, taking out Transky, but Cinder has a Sheriff in hand this time. A little bit of an aggressive buy for the eco round, gonna be punished for it by No Monkey, as the Tailwind does end up running out for Cheese Wedge. The shot's not quite on through smokes by Conquer. This is a much more cut and dry round. So Obama Fortnite is going to be aggressive with the Spectre and is going to get sprayed down by Nismo. The trade is there. Cheese Wedge trying to take spawn control and keep it as Ayuki has this classic to work with. They didn't have any headhunter shots in the chamber to be able to run with. So that's a victory going for PGR.
It was the way you expected it to go. They win the first pistol round and they win a follow-up round after that. So, you know, Phantom Thieves get the opportunity to buy up in this round as well. Nismo only 2 points away from his ultimate, also Zi-Fi 2 points away from the Hunter's Fury, and those ultimates very good for zoning, and not really anybody else on neither one of these teams close to their ultimates apart from the Sova from PGR and also the Viper from Phantom Thieves, and well, we'll see if they can get them in the upcoming round instead.
Yeah, just a little bit more room to work with as Conquer's able to take out Obama Fortnite with a Marshall this round, making it look like it might be a little bit more Phantom Thief sided, getting such a strong fragger out early. Tailwind is up, but Cinder's gonna be shutting it right back down, dismissing away the Vandal in hand. Snakebite's coming out to be able to delay things. Recon Bolt is able to find No Monkey, and that's both really confident initiators so far down in the form of that chamber, in the form of that jet for trying to take space on these maps. And it's not looking good for PGR as the toxic screen is going to settle. No Monkey continuing to play around in maze as the recon bolts go back and forth. They're going to both be spotted. And they're going to have to just start emitting and waddle their way off. It's a 3 versus 5 with Entranced Sky on this back line. Going to be trying to hold everything. And Barrier Orb is going to be cutting it off just a little bit, make their way into a much more aggressive angle as Lafia not quite sure where they want to commit, but this bomb, it feels just right to be able to try to send it on home A. Conquer continuing to watch it with malicious intent as they pop another shot of the Marshall at the ready. Shockbolt coming out, not stopping the plant, but does tag No Monkey a little bit. The Poison Orb in place for them to just do a little bit of a cheeky squat on that bomb. Cinder catching Lafia in the dark cover. No Monkey is going to be trying to slither their way around this Poison Orb. Is able to spot out Conquer, get one. Poison Orb falls. The shots are not quite there as the entire team is going to make a firing squad around No Monkey.
Yep. Losing Obama Fortnite and Cheese Wedge early on in that round most definitely hurt them, especially as their main focus was the A site, and you know, you lose your primary space maker and Cheese, you lose your secondary entrance in Obama Fortnite, and then you really don't have anything else to operate off of. Yes, after both Obama and Wedge fell, you did see our players, but they really struggled in finding any follow-up could have kept down to the fact that again they lost some really important entry players in the form of Obama and Cheese Wedge.
Yeah. And Cinder has been really good on this defense of making sure that they're going to be behind important players to be able to get these frags. As Cheese Wedge is just going to slowly hover their way along, be heard by a Yuki, but not quite spotted yet as the tailwind is going to be trickling out. No more dash at the ready to be able to get themselves moving, but Yuki can make them hand snap. The second here, here's the drop, and gonna be hearing them come around yellow. Get ready with the Vandal. It's gonna be in just a moment. The contact is there, but Cheese Wedge comes out on top. That's a little bit more open as Obama Fortnite also grabs Conquer. It's a little bit more convincing of around as caught with a knife out, but the spray wasn't there from Zi-Fi. It's gonna get sidewinded for a little bit of damage there, but no bodies have fallen for PGR just yet. It's a 3 versus 5 in their favor as Obama Fortnite continuing to be on the prowl, is able to grab Entranced Sky from behind. It's all down to Nismo alongside Cinder on this very, very important swing round as we're getting into things. Dark cover. The way these players have just navigated around each other this entire series so far is just insane to me as Nismo is able to grab Lafia and being able to take more contact around yellow, but gets caught by the side from Zi-Fi.
Losing Ayuki that early, especially around yellow, and Ayuki not being able to rendezvous out quickly enough after grabbing that intel that PGR were pushing into B is what really killed Phantom Thieves in that round. And they really didn't, it felt like they didn't really retake quick enough, or there wasn't really anyone around to refrag Ayuki, especially in the form of Cinder, who is your secondary entry, and they just weren't there. And again, losing your only player on to that site, it frees up so much space for them to work with.
Speaking of freeing up space, we see Cinder is able to trade back, but Conquer fell almost immediately to Cheese Wedge that round as everyone is just embracing this paperweight as we're getting into the stages of these rounds. Quite interesting, the culture in this split as they're making their way over towards A. We got to pick on B. It's fine. We're expecting PGR to rotate off of that one to be able to try to overcompensate for what was going on Breeze. But Ayuki is also in this nest, gonna not quite be spotted for a second there, but trigger discipline way too long, so No Monkey is able to get that kill as Nismo just barely around this 100 Sphere. He's able to grab No Monkey and get back into a dark cover before anything can go awry. The Viper's Pit is out to be able to try to reinforce things. Zi-Fi is going to be grabbing it to the sky, and Nismo, once again, the way they're navigating some of this util has been absolutely stellar, avoiding that recon bolt, but now they're caught by the Owl Drone, gonna start to get hunted a little bit. Second tag is there, we see Fia gonna be falling to that frenzy. Cinder grabbing Zi-Fi, and now it's all back down to Obama Fortnite with a headhunter in hand. Is good for the flick onto Nismo's head, but as the Viper's Pit falls, Cinder comes out on top.
Fifth round on the board for Phantom Thieves and PGR. You know, talked about dangerous territory being entered on the Breeze. Now they're entering just that, but it is going to be the coach actually from PGR who decides, yeah, enough is enough. Let's take a timeout. Let's talk. Let's calm down a little bit, because he realizes how bad this is. 10-7 is the score line, and if this trend continues, we could easily see Phantom Thieves coast themselves to a 13-7 win. Noble knows this, and he's like, okay, well, it seems that we're not really finding any vibes on attack. Well, what can we do in this round? They have 3 ultimates available. They have enough to buy up in this round necessarily. They have Lafias from the shadows, which isn't gonna be really that useful unless he's like lurking and you need him immediately to help you in the post plant. You know, you have the Viper's Pit available for No Monkey. Again, a good zoning ability as we've mentioned before. And Cheese Wedge, another good zoning ability, and a good discourager for defenders to just back off when those blaze storms. But again, that is a good time for them to talk about that. And ultimately, what is our buy going to? And as you guys can tell, again, they're going to buy up, but they are going to use some ultimates as well, starting with Cheese Wedge with that Blade Storm.
Yeah, Cheese Wedge has been good for the Reset City so far this
Get out of my way!
series, but we're gonna have to see if they're gonna be able to make some magic happen. Once again, Obama Fortnite coming up mid, gonna be peeking into Entrance. Sky is able to get the spray down. 30 HP left for it. A little bit worse for whereas Cheese Wedge is making their way into the mouth of Cinder. The spray is not there as they're gonna be getting their scalp shaved clean off. Cheese Wedge now up top, caught by Nismo just as they're coming out of dark cover. And that's a snake bite onto the top of the bridge as the Viper's Pit is going to be coming out to be able to hold this bomb just a little bit better from the shadows, being able to get a position on Snowman. These are some very good crossfire positions coming out from PGR in this post plant. Nismo is going to be having to think twice about the way they navigate this Conqueror. Coming through the Viper's Pit is able to see the edge of No Monkey, but it's too late. The Yuki going to be looking to save this off in a second, and it looks like calling for Nismo to back it off as well. Go for these exit frags and just try to keep the damage done to economies in a second here. We have Lafia waddling on out. Might find themselves a little bit of contact in a second here. Continuing to just tiptoe as we hear the knife out from Nismo. Not quite able to get the spray down.
He's off losing that rifle, and he really just didn't need to. So he's very lucky. That Lafia wasn't persistent enough to keep chasing him down because they could have been an easy kill for the Omen. But it is an 8th round for PGR, and in the process, 3 ultimates in particular, both all of the ultimates that I mentioned, the Blaze Storm, the Viper's Pit, the From the Shadows ability, and I mean, it netted them around with.
Yep.
Oop, okay.
Little bit of an awkward slower, but you got another one in the back pocket. It's all good as we see the sprays not quite happening on a tube as Cheese Wedge is going to get taken out by Nismo, actually. And we have a healing orb to pat you up. Nothing ever happened, buddy. Good job as Cinder's going to be taking out Obama Fortnite and gobbling up another soul for the chopping block. Getting that health back. Spots another person sneaking along on those ropes. There goes Lafia's positioning. That element of surprise is now gone as the Owl Drone going to also spot out Cinder. The tag not quite there from it though. Poison Orb is emitting, but just before it, No Monkey will be falling. And Cinder's continuing to inch their way up. They have Leers in the pocket, but gonna go for the dry peek anyway. Zi-Fi gonna be punishing them for that, say, 2v4 Recon Bolt coming out. Try to grab this bomb, try to take the rest of the site. We do spot out Nismo, but is it gonna be enough? Conquer good with the Marshal so far, but gets caught by Lafia as we get moving on the shadow step. Gonna get them into maze. The dark cover getting a little bit more space as we wait for this toxic screen to fall. Yuki has the op in hand, but does not have an angle yet. Paranoia just gonna go wide on everybody. The Zi-Fi watching the back, watching that dark cover, waiting until that bomb goes down, and now we have some more room to work with. Another dark cover to be able to keep it nice and one spotted, but Zi-Fi is going to continue to commit along this toxic screen. Entrance is right there. The hop up is going to keep the spray from being able to do anything as Nismo is going to be firing on Generator and shutting Zi-Fi down. 11th round going in the hands of Phantom Thieves.
Okay, that was a really curious resurrection. I decided to use it, I guess, just for jokes, but it just, I mean, the resurrection could have been useful in another round. So I was curious as to why he decided to do that. I mean, again, he probably just did it for bants and for jokes, but I don't really like that. You do have the Empress and the Hunter's Fury available as we get a timeout from Phantom Thieves. Now, this could be for a number of things. You know, they recognize that we're very close, or not we, but they are very close on match serious and point and taking the whole series to 3-1, and they kind of want to calm everyone down, probably recognizing that maybe they're just a little bit too hype over there, and to keep in mind that PGR are a good team. This is you know just as dangerous as this is for them, as this is quite a close scoreline. And they want to just calm each other down, go over what the next few rounds, and and also not only for this, for the next few rounds and what they want to do in terms of strats, but what they want to do for the sake of economy. Because by this point, Phantom Thieves should know that they should know that they are going to be full buying this round, and at the next round that it is going to be a force or an eco from them. And so that should give them a heads up and an advantage when it comes to the guns, when it comes to the eco, if they ever get themselves onto match point, that is.
Yeah, and it's gonna be looking really close. These rounds have not been off by a lot for quite a few of them. As Andres Fury coming out right off the start, not finding anything. Ayuki gonna be watching this with an op, trained with malicious intent, watching this angle like a hawk to get the flick on a cheese wedge. That's an early kill that you love to see. The barrier orb not quite able to stop Lafia from making their way into kitchen, and soon into the clutches of Nismo as the trademark does get triggered. They eventually do shoot it out, but the snakebite is going to be denying a push for just a little bit longer. Obama Fortnite getting culled by Conquer. We have a little bit more room to work with. Lafia making their way back towards the rest of the team, towards this A site. Gonna see what they can do. Conquer has 30 HP, but don't worry, he has a couple lineups as the Empress is here. Cinder looking to run it up as Snakebite is going to be dropping to be able to continue to just buy a little bit more time. And here we have the lineups gonna get ready to be well placed as Lafia is able to grab Cinder. Not who you want to be losing right now when the Empress is calling, but Dark Cover is going to continue to play this slow. Ayuki able to find one, Nismo able to find Lafia, and it's all down to Zi-Fi once again. Not going to be able to get much for it, so 4 bodies still left up on that round going into match point.
Yeah. Match point for Phantom Thieves, and again, 2-1 on the series, and it is serious point for them, and it's also match point for them in this round, and this is going to be as good of a buy as PGR or they cannot afford a full buy. I said it last round. They are on Riz. Phantom Thieves, they recognize that, they knew that was economy their chance this upcoming round, which could end the map and the series for PGR. Wow.
And there's Siege Red going to fall. They had a Marshal, so they could have just tapped everyone away if the cards were in their favor. But unfortunately, Conquer is going to be closing the window of hope that they have, as caught just as they unscope. Obama Fortnite with the Guardian is able to take out Ayuki. Timing is absolutely immaculate as we're getting into this. The bomb is planted for PGR as Entrance Sky is going to be trying to get some area to work with. The From the Shadows denied by 2 players on Phantom Thief. So here comes the Dark Cover, being able to make it so that push is just a little bit more awkward as Recon Bolt spots one out. Obama Fortnite playing their own rendezvous. All the util seems to be missing them so far as the Barrier Orb comes up and they can swing around Yellow, able to get 2. Almost in 4th on the round. Timer's almost out. Here comes the Healing Orb to be able to pat them up nice and safe and sound. Snakebite's going to be denying this defuse just a little bit longer with Lafia right by the Barrier Orb. Has the Bulldog in hand, is able to deny the plant. This is a round going in the hands of PGR.
Ooh, that is a clutch. I mean, it counts as a clutch on the board because it was technically a 1v2 from the chambers, but we do have a replay for you guys to show you how exactly this happened. Obama Fortnite with the 2K by Yellow. That's how they start this retake off, and then we see a couple of refrags go into Phantom Thieves' favor. And after that, it's kind of like a standstill between both of these teams, apart from Cinder, who's there to get the kill, but isn't there to really cover his teammate when they're on the fuse. And that is a round that Phantom Thieves probably want back, but I mean, it's still a healthy lead for them, 12-9. The economy for PGR is not looking hot, though the tour de force is popped from Obama Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have any room for failure here as Nismo's going to be the first one to fall. Cheese Wedge going to hopefully start feeling themselves, but Conquer not allowing Cheese Wedge any quarter in this map or in this game so far. Cinder, once again, on a very aggressive angle, going to be peeking by the Owl Drone. Not quite spotted, is able to grab one. Dismiss away, but almost is able to grab another, but if they reacted to Zi-Fi. Still in the Owl Drone, just in time to clear. Not able to save them as Zi-Fi is going to be mounting this assault, grabbing a second. Tour de force in hand of Ayuki. Gonna be hopefully able to make something happen in this 1v3. The Recon Bolt did spot them, but no shots popped quite yet. Lafia playing Nest. going to be starting to spray through. Obama Fortnite is going to be the first one to fall, though. Tour de Force, 4 shots left. Caught him on the rope. Able to grab Lafia. 1v1. They drop down. Sci-Fi takes the round. That's 10-12.
Oh my god. When you need someone to step up, PGR, when you need someone to say you say his name, Sci-Fi. A 3K in that round, you know, I'm surprised he didn't get killed by Sin when Sindar was swinging, because he saw him first, but then he opted to get No Monkey after that because No Monkey was just there in front of him. But I mean, it's a 3K on the round from the Sova. They're able to get that plant down as well because, you know, Sci-Fi is able to get a second entry right under Hell, free up some more space to support that spike plant being planted in A, and then able to get a third. And we saw some of his U2 usage as well. And again, when you need someone to be called up for PGR, you say his name, Sci-Fi. That's his name. Remember it. Oh, it seems that...
Going to be looking to go for a very aggressive push right into B. But not quite going to be coming out yet. As Paranoia is going to be allowing the plant. Cinder able to get the first on the round onto Obama Fortnite. But the bomb is now ticking. All players are up for Phantom Thieves, and we need to have a talk about No Monkey getting off the board, as Sci-Fi is going to make sure Nismo is going to be much like the Dodo at this point. Very orb cracked. The Hunter's Fury coming out, continuing to deny this defuse. As once again, we have the denial still alive. No Monkey getting a Trans Sky, but it's a 2v3 to work with Lafia. Staying nice and close to this bomb. The snake bit going to be dropping onto it, but they're just needing to hold on to B a little bit longer. Conquer right at the ends of this is going to be minding the gap on the wall, but Lafia is going to be getting a frag through it nonetheless.
Whoa. Okay, I think that was a little bit of lag from Lafia. I don't really... He was kind of glitching, but he couldn't go anywhere. Despite... Okay, yep, that was most definitely lag. I could tell because he was kind of like glitching as he was trying to like get out. But that gives us a little bit of time. You know, earlier on a couple of rounds ago, we saw Phantom Thieves take a timeout, right? When they were like 12-8 up, or 11-8
Does
up.
anyone have fun?
And I said it maybe was because they realized they are in of a dangerous spot as PGR, because a lot of teams in these positions can get a little bit too complacent. They can get a little bit shaky, and then you see them surrender leads like this. It was 12-8 at first, and PGR have quickly, well, not shut the gate because it hasn't been shut as of yet. Icebox is still very much open, but they've closed the gap considerably, and now we're very, very close into overtime. And both of these teams have some, like, not really funky buys, because it is going to be a full buy from PGR, but for Phantom Thieves, they are on a very funky buy, especially when you look at the guns that they do have. The only rifle that's decent is the Phantom. They do have the Judge and conquer close quarter situations, wait for the push to come, and just spray them down with that Judge. But again, it's a really weak buy for them compared to what PGR does have.
Yeah, we're going to have to see them just get that first pick and get running. No Monkey has been just so good on the post plants, but we have Nismo swapping to be able to try to hold B alongside Conquer. They've been star players holding down A, so I have no qualms leaving the fort in their hands over on B site. This timer's going to start ticking. We see a B lean once again. The Blade Storm coming out. We might have a reset city on our hands as the Judge just sitting on the other side of a dark cover, and Trent Sky is able to win their frag with Obama, but there we have it. The Judge is able to grab one, but not quite able to grab No Monkey. It's all we needed, though. We just needed one in the coffin to be able to send the rest of PGR packing, though. And here comes the Empress pop. Going to be trying to hold everything down. Sci-Fi has had some nasty head taps throughout the entirety of this game, though. Keeping the team in this as it's all slowed down to a bit of a screeching halt. Just waiting for one side to creep up just a little bit too far, playing with this timer. We have 55 seconds to work with as no one's making an advancement into the other's territory. There's so much of this map left to take. but none of them seem hungry for it as it looks like Zi-Fi is going to start to spearhead this charge, but going to be finding a Yuki in just a second here from Generator, taking his head off, making this a 2 versus 4. Might just close the door right in their face right here as the bomb is making its way over towards A in the
30
hands of
seconds left.
Lafia. This dark cover getting ready to go out alongside a toxic screen. It's going up. There's a lot of room to just not see a sight. The paranoia was a little bit wide. And we hear the trademark drop. Here's the Viper pit, but the plant is on default. The Guardian shots are good. 10 seconds left. The shot from Ayuki able to
10 seconds left.
not get taken as no monkey has the spike in hand. 5 seconds left to work with, but Nismo
Defenders
is not
win.
liking the man in the mirror, is able to take us to a 3-1 end for Phantom Thieves.
Well, relatively surprising win for Phantom Thieves there, but they are able to get the job done off the back of on all three maps, and especially on Icebox there. Stellar attacking halves out of that team. They went, what, 7-2, 7-0, and then an 8-4 attacking. So their attacking side completely dominant. It sees them through to the grand final here of the Victoris Rival Series. And before we get into the post-game analysis, just a reminder to you in chat, please vote in the Twitch poll for your MVP, your player of the match. Who was the best on ground? And I guess 1B, starting just looking at Phantom Thieves, there are so many great options we can choose from.
Yeah, I don't really know who to choose from.
Let's start alphabetically. Ayuki, the
Okay.
Jet was absolutely Jet and the Chamber, I suppose in the last map, was absolutely sublime across the series,
Mhm.
consistently landing those opening blows and topping the scoreboard, doing what you expect the duelist to do, the stereotypical duelist, really getting in there, getting dirty, and notching up the frags.
Yeah, Ayuki's obviously a good shout, but then you also have Nismo, who's very good on that controller role. Cinder, who was a really good secondary entry to Ayuki. Not on this map. I feel like they was first entry since they were on that duelist role, and Ayuki was on the Sentinel instead. Um, Conquer had some pretty good moments, especially on that Sova using the utility well. The recon abilities of the Sova being very prevalent inside of this matchup too. And I don't really know. It's a hard one because you obviously, again, like we said, Ayuki and Cinder who've had amazing seriousness, but also I feel like you need to give your shout outs to Nismo as well, who was an amazing support and amazing throughout, the whole entirety of the four maps that we saw played.
In particular, I'm thinking about Haven at the start and then Icebox at the end, constantly being the only person on side, particularly on Haven. It was whenever it was PGR attacking B, it was Nismo there. And there was a lot of times when Nismo was able to pick up a kill or two and get away with the life and continue putting the pressure on Loki.
Yeah, no, I am a fanboy for Nismo. Like, their lurk plays on attack, always in the right spot to be able to run it up. I'm honestly really happy that I was wrong on most of my prediction for this series. It was a lot of fun to watch Phantom Thieves show out for it, but Ayuki, he ran the board for so long. But I also just love from what I've been able to hear about the personality of Cinder, I have no
Mhm.
problems thinking that in those timeouts, it was really important for that ability to have that strong voice to be able to come through, keep everyone calm, to be able to run it. Because we opened with them stomping out on Haven, which was a map that they'd previously gotten completely bodied by PGR. So being able to take that and being able to move it on to the next maps and be like, okay, so we lost the scent this time. Who cares? And show out for these last two games. I love seeing that. A team tends to be as strong as its weakest link, but when you have an IGL like Cinder, I'm sure it makes it a whole lot easier.
Indeed, a huge shout out to our producer, Mr. Fantastic. Thank you for putting these predictions up and just letting everyone know I finally got one right. And so yeah, I'm just talking about Phantom Thieves. Well, I feel like if we're gonna go, I know we're not completely finished the split there, but if we're going for a most improved team, I think Phantom Thieves. While obviously they didn't play last split, so we don't really have any indication of where they would have been coming into the tournament. The fact that they come into these playoffs in that fourth spot and they're putting up these performances against the first seeded team in Group A, the second seeded team in Group B, it shows a stunning level of development for the team in that they're able to play because they're building across the season, and it's not a case of when they get to playoffs. Okay, this is where the existing teams with experience in playoffs start to shine and use their experience to beat down their opponents. They just keep getting better and better, and maybe they're the kind of players that thrive on the pressure of coming into each match as the underdog in an environment where they're not used to playing.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was
I
for you,
mean,
Wumpy.
yeah, I mean, it's amazing what Phantom Thieves have been able to achieve this season, especially from what Cinder, their captain or their IGL has told us. You know what I mean? This is a team that only, has been together for about a month and a half when they
But
entered the
yeah,
VRS
crazy.
summer splint, and that was like a month ago. And I mean, look at them now, all the way into the grand against Cinder. The reason why he picked this team was because he felt like other people that he's played with before, other players that he's trialed out for a team like this, hasn't really felt or hasn't really matched his vision for like a team that wants to grind out results, that wants to grind out tournaments, and that wants to better themselves as players. And you can tell that everyone on this team has grounded out or has grinded out to be where they are now. Ayuki, Nismo, Cinder, Entrance, every one of these players has worked so hard from the beginning of to now, and then obviously next to when we have our grand finals, which I'm looking forward to now for fans.
Yeah, and so going forward, they'll be playing one of either ACT Gaming, the Group B champion, undefeated, and I think only dropped one map during the regular season, or potentially staring at walls, another team who they have played, but they were beaten to either 2-0 or 2-1. Sorry, I forget the exact scoreline. Loki, do you think they have what it takes to surprise whichever team that will, I suppose, continue surprising whichever team they go up against and beat them, or just more of a Zeta division from Masters Reykjavik kind of run? It's a fairy tale. It's a surprise they make it this far, but at the end of the day, there's just going to be another team that is just happens to be superior on the day and eventually knocks them out, just short of that
Mhm.
championship prize.
See, I'd love to be able to joke about lightning striking twice, but they took the top seed of Group A and they were able to body a team that completely stomped them previously. The moment that we were bringing it into the best of fives, they have an amazing stamina to be able to continue to keep up with teams again and again. And as long as they keep the same energy that they've had thus far, I'm sure they're going to be able to go all the way to the end.
Well, I've just had one of the admins messaged. The other semi-final is over. It was also a 3-1 to staring at walls.
What?
ACT lost. I am flabbergasted by how this
Um,
entire split playoffs is going. Group A gone. Top seed undefeated from Group B gone. Second seed only lost to ACT gone. This is crazy. Yes,
um,
yes, thanks. That's the last time we're ever going to see that graphic come up on
Yeah.
screen, by the way, because holy cow. Anyway, let's.
ah,
Sorry, go ahead. You can have your comments on that, and then actually no, we'll do player of the match
yeah.
first because I see that is ready. And I mean, sometimes you can't go past people who click on heads. Ayuki, Jet for the first three maps, Chamber for the last one. I didn't actually have to do anything on Icebox. It was the other players, but across those first three maps, it was almost unstoppable, particularly when you're looking at those first blood statistics. Almost 50% of rounds getting a first blood.
Mhm.
Crazy how much that sets up your team and a well deserved player of the match.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I was looking at some other statistics, especially from Phantom Thieves' last match against Team Greed, and it was Cinder who got like an insane amount of first bloods, and now it's Ayuki to take that throne. And when you have a player who, well, I wouldn't say Cinder was most definitely on his best game today, but when you have other players who can step up as well as you stepping up, or even when you're not having you have other players around you who can do it as well. I mean, it's great, and Ayuki was amazing, especially with his entries, but he was also, heavily supported on his entries as well from his initiators too. And it's nice to see him get some recognition because I feel like he fully deserved it. But I was very I think I did vote for Nismo, to be honest with you, because I felt like his controller plays were just out of this world.
Yeah, I want to get a little check of identity check here. Is this Nismo the Phantom
Mhm.
Thieves player? Or is this Nismo the Ghost Gaming player just filling in for another tournament while the NA challenges gears up for the finals? Because I'm not quite convinced they're different people at this point. But that as we approach the end of the stream, just one match left next week, the grand final. Any thoughts going into next week? What we can expect to see from Phantom Thieves or potentially stirring at walls, who is a team that's been hidden behind the wall. We just haven't seen them on stream at all. Starting
Ooh.
with you, Wumby.
Yeah, you know what? The funny thing is I casted VLS season. Staring at Walls were in that exact same competition, and they were a team who had were really really new to Victoris. They were really really new to, I believe, competitive Valorant. Well, in a tournament that's set up like this, and they didn't have the best of seasons in VLS Valorant. So to see them come into VRS Valorant, um, and to go this far as well, you can tell that compared to how they were last season in a spring set in a completely different league compared to now, you can tell they've improved quite a bit. And we haven't seen. I was looking forward to see them play, because they were the first team that I actually casted in Valorant, and so I have a bit of a soft spot for them. And now to see them really grown into like a more improved team, a more mature team, and we're gonna see them in the grand finals. We haven't seen them all season, and we hadn't seen Phantom Thieves up until this point. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Gonna be a spectacular affair. Like final words from you, Dementor Loki.
I just want to say once again, thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun being able to work with everyone here, and thank you to those who have come out to be able to support these teams. I'm looking forward greatly to being able to see more of our Phantom Thieves popping off on the boards, and just the general ongoings of this team seem to be one of the more interesting ones to me so far, having taken down two very important giants so far from being kind of bullied and keeping close games all this so far in the best of threes. So coming into the best of five swinging, I'm just excited for the next and us being able to move on and see them come out on top.
Well, that will do it here from us. Thank you to everyone who tuned in and witnessed a stellar performance from the Phantom Thieves. Thanks also to all the players who put on such a great show, not only today, but over the course of the season. We got 1 week left. The grand final will be out next week. So don't miss out on that. But of course, that's just for VRS Valorant. There's so much other right goodness going on. We got Legend Series tomorrow night. Season goes on for like another 5-6 weeks. It's ridiculous how much Valorant there is to go. And that we also got League of Legends, if that floats your boat, on this channel and the other Victoris channel. But on behalf of myself, Dementor Loki, 1B, and our fantastic producer, Mr. Fantastic, thank you all for tuning in. See you next week.